So welcome everyone. This is Usman here and my friend Zakaria, and we are here with the explanation of ICP5. And this ICP5 consists of two tags. So one tag with the NumPy and the second tag is with the data manipulation using the pandas library. So Zakaria will explain the tags one and I will explain the task two. Half of the task two I will explain and half the Zakaria will explain. Okay, Zakaria, go ahead.
Hi everyone. So yes, in the first line of code, we have basically imported NumPy libraries and pandas. So once we run this is actually generating random integers from the range 1 to 20, and 15 actually indicates how many integers I want to generate. So yes, these are basically stored in an array, and array is printed. So we were asked to basically reshape this into a two-dimensional array with 3 rows and 5 columns. So 3 times 5, 15 elements. So they were basically arranged in a 3 into 5 two-dimensional array. Then we were asked to find the maximum value in x is equals to 1. So when x is equals to 1, that means in each row, it's finding its maximum value. So we have 17 here in the first row, 19 in the second row, and 19 again in the third row, right? And we are basically reshape is basically for this was coming like 1 row and 3 columns. So we have basically converted into 3 rows and 1 column. And this is a where condition. So where a equals to max, you need to convert wherever you find these values, you need to convert it into 0, else the list remains, or the array remains the same. And replacing those with the 0 values. So maximum values you can see in this updated array have been replaced. This is a np.diagonal basically gives the diagonal values of this array. So diagonal, we know for a 3 by 3 matrix, diagonal is this. So 6, 6, and 0 is basically the diagonal. And if I print this will convert my 1 into 3 array into 3 by 3 array. Next is basically we're saving this output of C into output.npy file format. So if you run this from, can you run this and then this? Yep, and then we can see the file on our left-hand side.
So yeah, the laptop is being struck.
Yeah, it's okay. Just like open this maybe. Double click maybe.
So now you can see we have got the output.npy file.
npy file. So just in order to check this, that the file is valid or not, so I have actually basically reloaded it into array loaded, and I've loaded the same file. So once I run this, I'll get the same output which was generated above. Yep. So yep. Next we have task 2. Usman, can you please go ahead?
Okay, so the task 2 is to create the data frame using pandas library. We have import pandas library in our first line of code. So this function is a function which upload the file from your local computer. So first we have a data CSV file, and let's get this file from our computer.
Oh, I think it's already loaded. Can you just go ahead?
Yeah, it required to load again.
Requires to load again, or you just
Yes.
need to.
Every time you run your Jupyter notebook, it will ask you to
You will need to replace the 2
yes.
then.
Mm-hmm.
The file name starts with 2, right? So you might need to replace with data.csv if
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, that's data.csv.
And I will replace this name with data.csv. And if I run this one, so this method pd.read_csv it will read the file CSV and it will create the data frame. So you can see the data frame right here. And so this data frame consists on duration, pulse, max calories column, and it has almost 169 rows by 4 columns. You can see that here. And if we describe this data set, so it will return us the maximum count, the average, the mean, everything which present in this data sets. You can see the maximum count of duration is 169, pulse have 169, everything have the 169 except the calories. They have a standard deviation, they have a minimum, they have a mean, and they have a maximum. So maximum calorie is 1860 calories in the data sets. Here we are using df dot is null. So is null is a Boolean function. It will return if there is any none values or not, and x is 1 means we are checking row wise. And we are printing header values, just 5 values from the data sets. And upon running this, we can see we have some none values, and we have to fill this none values by mean values of that column of calorie. So here we are just calculating the mean value of the column calories and storing in mean value variable. And now we are going to fill these values with mean value, and we have used in place false. So in place false means it will return the copy of the object. So let's try this. And if we check again if there are any null values or not. So now this time we are not giving any rows wise or column wise, we are just checking if there are any null values in the whole data set. So it says false. So there is no null values. And the second thing, we have to select at least 2 columns and aggregate the data using min max and count mean. So we are taking duration calories and aggregating the data with mean and with this value. So it will aggregate and it will create a new data frame, which is df1. And here we were required to filter the calories between 500 and 1000. So so this is the function between, and I am selecting df calories column and store and creating a new data frame, that is df sub.
So we can see in the result, all the calories are between this range, 500 to 1000.
Yes. So and also we were required to change the data type of calories to float 64.
I think that was done like in the next step, maybe.
Yes. So Zakir, you can explain
Yeah.
from here.
So basically, next task was to we need an AND condition that has basically one data frame of calories greater than 500 and one data frame of pulses less than 100. So I've just stored those two in two other data frames, like one is X and one is Y. So now I'll be putting my AND condition. So we can easily see, I'm just printing its type, and I'm easy. Then I have this, I actually made a new column of status that is basically np.logical and df calories greater than 500. I'm giving, or df, on the other hand, I'm giving df pulses less than 100. So basically, initially I was giving X and Y. So then I started to give, I did it like this, so we can do both ways. And then I just printed df status is basically it gives a boolean value true and false. So once you put it into df in this way, so only those values which are actually true will actually will be the resultant data frame. So true will be basically where both the conditions have met, right? That's why logical and is used.
So
Once it
this
is
is,
run, we'll see the data frame.
yeah, this is taking long because of the web page taking a lot of memory from my MacBook. So that's why it's taking long, but it should be running. Otherwise, it has given us the error. So let's move to the new code, and now it give us the so let's move to the next code, and where we have to create a new data frame, which is data modified, and that contains all the columns except the max pulse. So what I did, I just created a new data frame with the columns calories, pulse, and duration. So here you can see 3 columns except the max pulse. And second one was to drop the max pulse column from the main data frame. So DF was my main data frame. So I used the method drop and I gave the column name max pulse. So now it should remove the max pulse column from the main data frame. Now it has removed. You cannot see the max pulse uh, column. And here we are required to change the calories data type into integer form. So now I'm using df as type method and giving the column name and changing its type. So now you can see that the calories is now integer 64. And Zakaria, would
Earlier it
you
was
please
float.
will you please explain the last?
Yeah, so about the data types, the calories was initially float, then they have been changed to int. So yeah, for the plot here, it's a scatter plot. We're basically plotting
Yeah, you can go
duration.
ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So duration is on our x-axis and calories is on our y-axis. So all those values are basically plotted, and we can see they hardly fit.
Yes. So df dot plot dot scatter is the method to plot any values on x and y axes. So you just need to pass the column name into y and x, and the it will draw the values on this scatter plot. So this is all about our ICP5. And if you have any question, any concern, please feel free to leave the message on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.